Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Okay, guys, so I've been being guided to talk to you, but at the same time, kind of confused, and I feel like there's a reason for that. Like, I did a reading a little while ago for the Patreon people, and that message came through. And I talked to someone earlier this week, and a lot of times, whatever they're going through, I'm kind of going through too. And I noticed they were like dealing with like time, kind of the same things where it's like it kind of goes along with the thing I was going to do about like when you feel like you're blocked from spirit. I don't feel like I'm blocked from spirit, but I more so feel like a confusion of like, what should I be doing? And asking for like a message to help me get clarity on that. Like, hey, yo, if I should do XYZ, show me this. But if I should do XYZ, show me that. Very clear, very specific. And I keep seeing things that are like, you should tell spirit exactly what you want when you're trying to manifest. So I'm like, I did that, and you're not giving me any answer. Like, so the person that I spoke to was also like, hey, can you pull some cards for me? Because I feel very confused. Like, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like other people in the community are probably going to be going through that. Just 12:21 on the clock. It was funny because I was like, yeah, me too. And everything that they were going through, like even in their mundane life, I was going through like they're doing this and I'm doing that. And we're like in different states, but we're doing it at the exact same time even, and seeing the exact same synchronicities and the exact same numbers. I'm like, yeah, I'm passing I'm on Route 27 and I'm going past this mailbox 27 and ba 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 ba. And they're like, all right, I'm going to tell spirit that I need to see sixes. And so then I start seeing sixes and they start seeing sixes, and it's like we were just like voice chatting back and forth. They were driving somewhere, I was driving somewhere. They were on one road called something, and I'm like basically on that same road, but again in different states, getting that same stuff. And then they sent me like a little reel the next day that was like, yeah, when you ask spirit for guidance and they just send you like 111. So I feel like dingy lingy ling, there's that type of stuff going on right now where it's like you may know, or you maybe kind of know what you are supposed to be doing, or feel like you want to do, or feel like you should do, but at the same time you may be hesitant. And like for that situation, they're wondering like, should I just like let go of this? Like, why is this coming back up in my life right now? Like, why am I getting all of these songs? Why am I seeing all of these reminders about this specific thing when I have detached from that thing and I'm like no longer wanting that? And that is again kind of like what happens when we're trying to manifest in this world, is when you detach from the outcome, sometimes you get the outcome, but also sometimes you get tested. Because if you're trying to get an outcome, like say you've been trying to manifest something for a long time and it's not working out, and it's like everything you do in connection to that just kind of feels stagnant or stuck, and then you finally give it up, or you like are really trying to give it up, and you're taking all of those steps to give up on that whole thing, it can feel like all of a sudden you're getting like an increase of signs and synchronicity and messages. Like this happens a lot for people in the twin flame community, where they're like, I was thinking about him nonstop, and as soon as I stop thinking about him, he starts coming back around, or I start seeing more signs and things connected to him. And I feel like that's because of the detachment aspect. But there's also like a test within there where it's like, well, you might need to detach from that because it's for your highest and best. But yeah, spirit's probably like the universe is going to test you to see, are you really going to detach from that so we can give you these blessings and these other opportunities, you know, like something else manifesting in its place? Or are you going to let like these little reminders or these little detours take you back onto that path where you're confused, or you're stuck, or you're stagnant? And again, in the reading I just did, it was the Freaky Friday one, because on Friday last week I did all those lives and I didn't wear a hat in all of those lives. All day Friday and Friday night I had a wicked bad headache, and I was like, what the hell? So I didn't end up doing Freaky Friday that day, and then on Saturday I still didn't feel well, so on Sunday I uploaded like a surprise Sunday and told them that I would do a Freaky Friday within the next few days. So I did it today, and in there, before I even got to the Freaky, there's another one I saw earlier, there's all these messages of basically like, you know, you need to figure out what you're doing and not let these distractions and things take you off your path. But this one here earlier, I had considered going live tonight to do like $5 readings. And the reason I didn't is because, again, and I was fine for the rest of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like I've been okay. But today I've been running wicked hot. Like, I keep getting hot no matter what. Like, I got the fan on. It's October almost. Like, it's not hot out, but I was really hot inside. So I don't know. I just was like, maybe I will, because I always get hot when I go live anyways. But tomorrow I feel like I'm going to go live to do $5, 5-minute like readings, and I might do it here, or I might do it on TikTok. I need people to let me know. If you want me to do it here, let me know. But when I told Spirit, I was like, should I go live on and do that? I got this card, which is the Spirit of Gold, Wealth, Status, Windfall. And I keep getting that type of sign, which again, that might be something that you're like, should I take this step in my career, or should I do this thing that I'm like hesitant about? Show me this if I should, and show me that if I shouldn't. And you may be like, where are the signs? Why aren't I getting this clear information to help me get that confirmation? I obviously got that clear one with that card earlier, but in another thing in my life that I've been getting like that urge to do for a while, but then I hesitate on it because I'm like, why am I doing it? Like, it's kind of weird. I'm like, should I do it? If I should, show me this thing. Like, I gave 3 options to see, and then if I shouldn't, other options, and nothing happened. Nothing on either side. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And I still haven't gotten any of that answers, and it's been like 4 days. So I'm just waiting for that answer to come through still. But at the same time, I think I need to just do what I feel guided to do. If you are into the whole, like, what is your way of being, like, I'm a manifesting generator. Some people are projectors. Some people are like, I don't even know all of them, but there's certain ways that we manifest in the world. And as a manifesting generator, we're supposed to go with our feeling. Like, if it feels good for us, then we should do it. If it doesn't feel good to us, it's probably not going to work out. There's power in things that can manifest when we listen to that within ourselves. But there's other things too that have been coming through. So I feel like, I said this last week when P. Diddy got arrested. It was like the same day that Trump had his second attempt on him. And I was like, I feel like this is distraction. I just feel like it's all distraction. And I've gotten a lot of confirmation since then, because all you see, like, everywhere on all of the places is like baby oil, P. Diddy, boppa boopity beep. However, behind the scenes, things that we're not seeing, especially if you're like in the US, is like, oh, all of the ports are going to be going on strike, which will probably hike up all the prices of our food even more. And that's not a good thing. Also, that there's been like stuff happening where like the next world war might break out, and other stuff that's going on like that. And I do feel like it's very much tied together, because with the whole P. Diddy thing, like, I've known about that. Like, I've known in my soul that he was doing that. Like, everybody knew about that. Like, that's not a hidden thing. That's not like a secretive whatever. Like, every celebrity out there has mentioned it to some degree. And I really do feel like that's something that happened to Justin Bieber. I feel like that little girl that he adopted a long time ago was mixed up into that. And I just feel like it's also just a distraction, because the whole reason that those people back when I was growing up started becoming popular and hip hop was because of an agenda to get a lot of individuals into that type of lifestyle, to put them behind bars. And I just received more confirmation on my thinking surrounding that, because I kind of was like, wait a minute, like, he's just brought himself to like where he's been pushing everyone else to go, and got it caught up with him because he was sloppy with it, and he was just taking advantage of the fact that he had all of this money and power. So I was literally thinking about that earlier, because I remember hearing that at some point. And it seems very legit. Like, I go on deep dives all the time. I go in those rabbit holes, and yeah, like, when you look at the US and how many people have been put in behind the bars compared to what it was prior to that, you will see that there's a huge number, and it's like a demographic that gets put in there. And you can even see it in society. Like, the other day, there was a post out there about him because of this whole thing. And I can't remember exactly what it was about, but in the comments, there was a woman that was like, if you're not Black, like, you shouldn't even have an opinion on this, and that you probably wouldn't even be able to pick him out of a lineup, or you'd be able to name one of his songs. And I'm like, okay, first of all, as a 40-year-old white lady here, like, I do know Puff Daddy P. Diddy Sean Combs. Okay, I know him. I know him. When I was like 14, 15, that's all we were listening to was Biggie and Puffy and all of those people. And yeah, I could pick him out of a lineup. And I'm gonna say right now, like when looking at the picture, I'm not even sure. I was like, is that actually the picture? Are they trying to say that's him? Are they trying to say that's him? Are they trying to say that is him? I don't know for sure. I looked it up. I was like, I looked up his, what do you call it when you get arrested, that picture. I looked it up because the one that I saw online was like, it does not look anything like him, and he doesn't even have like the little dots that he's got on his face. So I was like, whatever. But that person was like, if you want this, you won't even be able to, like, I'm like, yes I could. Like, he's been around, dude. Like, we know him. But it was like she was like trying to say like, oh, but that's just part of our culture. And I'm like, that's the problem. Because it's been like, there's so many people that, and I heard something yesterday about like that music, and I know it is. I know listening to that music is low vibrational. I know that there is hidden messages in that music. I know that a lot of people can be influenced to go down a path that they may not have if they didn't label it as cool or all right to do, because all of these people are out there doing this stuff. And furthering my thing tonight, like I saw stuff to do with like back in the day on VH1 and MTV, which we all have spoken about this recently. I went live with you guys and we were talking about like those old shows on VH1, like Pimp My Ride and Cribs and all of that. I saw some things from back then. There was one with, what's his name? Epstein there. He was on like a Cribs episode, and it's because he bought a whole schoolhouse. First of all, I had no idea that he was actually a school teacher. He was a math teacher at one point in high school, and then became like a billionaire doing some trading and stuff, banking. And then he ended up, because he couldn't stay out of school, they literally said this on VH1, he bought a school in like New York and transformed it into the largest residential home there and did all of these things to it. But this is back in the day, so they were like hyping him up. It was like, he has even more power than like looks, was his money. And that's the conditioning that like my people and your people and the continued of the peoples have been listening to for years, of like, oh, if you have money, it doesn't matter. You have all the power. You don't need to have any other thing except for the money. And then you can buy a school and put people on planes and take them to these horrible islands and do messed up things. And then you can do freak show parties. And I feel like the baby oil thing is actually like there's something in there that's like, because he has a tendency of spiking drinks. I saw a video tonight of a woman that actually was at a party that never drank the drink and saw everybody else start getting all weird, and like she got out of there just like narrowly, but her career never propelled forward from that point. The ones that get and go in there and do whatever he wants them to do, they go far, they go ahead. But it's like this has been so deeply ingrained into people's minds that it's like, this is what it is. Like, if you can't be this cool guy that's doing this really horrible stuff, then you're a nobody. And like, there's no other value in any other way. But it also has like double things behind it. And I'm also going to say, I got a little freaked out because I did that live with you guys recently, and I was talking about all these like conspiracy things and saying like, I feel like they do this shit because there's a hidden reason behind it. And then remember I got pulled over, and it was just like, oh, you're too close to the line. And I felt like there was a message within that. The next day I saw a woman on TikTok who I've seen before. I've seen her videos in the past. She's the one that put one out around April when I was talking about the eclipse coming and like the alternate sun. And ever since she did that alternate sun video, and I'm pretty sure I put pieces of that in my video when I spoke to you guys, she's had like crazy ass stuff happening to her. That she's almost like lost her life. Like really crazy things. And her husband thinks she's a nutcase. Like, he never believes in any of her conspiracy stuff. But even he admitted that like something's messed up. Like, she's been staying at an Airbnb, comes in, and her medicine at the bottom of the pill, at the bottom of the bottle, was all white powder. And that's never happened in all the years that she's taken this medicine. So she didn't take it, but she noticed it. And then they go out on their pontoon boat. And like before they had gone on this trip, he had just had it all tested and like tires and everything was all good. And he checks it every single time they go out. They went to the place. They took the boat out, like they had left their thing docked, or they left their trailer there at the place, and they went out, and then they came back and they put the boat on the trailer and started going home. And on the way home, the brakes and stuff weren't working right. Like usually something comes up on the screen that wasn't working right. So he ended up figuring out that someone unplugged the thing that plugs in, turned it around and plugged it upside down while they were out on the boat, and it was sitting there at like the dock. And then another thing, when they finally got back, like when they were on the highway after that, like in between coming out of there, somebody went right in front of them and slammed on the brakes. And it was like they were trying to get them to slam and mess up. And if somebody behind them doesn't see the brakes, there's definitely going to be an accident. And a lot of people know that she's had a lot of stuff done to her neck. Even the slightest little fender bender could ruin her life, because she was literally decapitated at one point. So her whole neck is like held together with like some metal. Okay. And then when they got back to the place, they noticed that one of the tires on the trailer that had just been like good and like checked out and everything was like fresh and new on it, all of a sudden is so hot that it was smoking and it almost had caught on fire. So you can tell that she's extremely scared. She's not usually like that. And when I was looking at the video of her talking about this, I could see tons of stuff like behind her in the woods and around her. And I was like, oh God, she's like got a lot of stuff coming at her. But she got pulled over by an FBI guy. And they're not even supposed to pull you over, but she had gotten rid of the car that she normally has and got into a new car and was like leaving where she lives. She had just very, very close to her house, just like when I got pulled over. I was literally just on that. Like, I live here, the highway's right here. It takes me like 2 minutes to get to the highway, and I hadn't even hit the next exit yet when I got pulled over. She had left her house, went down to this place, hit the stop sign, took a right, and they pulled her over saying that she didn't stop at the stoplight, but she knows that or the stop sign, and she knows that she did. He was an FBI guy, and he just like, as soon as he knew that was her car, he let her go. And people are like, that's weird. And like all of these things have been picking up. So it was like, I started having like, oh no. Because another thing, when I listened back to that live where I was talking about those specific things of like those agendas and stuff, I noticed that the audio was all messed up. It was like you couldn't hear me only when I was talking about those certain types of things, which again is why I'm careful when I speak on here. And we're supposed to be allowed to share our opinion, okay? Like, we can have an opinion. We can't state facts. We can't say for sure. We can't deem anybody bad, but like, we can have an opinion of what we think is happening in the world. We can have an opinion on the agendas that are happening in the world, but that may not always be received well. But yeah, there's been a lot of that going on, and there's been a lot of distractions. And like, when I took this and I waited a minute, in between, I saw the test offer temptation. So there is a lot of temptations right now. There's a lot of tests right now. Like I said at the beginning of the month, 911, 901 on the clock here. There's going to be like an increase, almost like an emergency to pay attention. Test offer. I said this at the beginning of this video, temptations, like there's test, but there's also magic, psychic, sorcery, spells, and like things going on around us. And I feel like there's an increase of this, these dark attachments, these energies that are not of the light, shadow, fears, tormented, darkness, demon spirits. And I did the quartz clearing activation for the Patreon people yesterday, and I put it into Etsy today, and it's on sale for like $9.44. If you want to do it, it's a 25-minute quartz clearing activation extraction to get rid of all of that stuff. I do feel better since doing it. I've been running hot today, but yeah, there's so many weird things. There's so many weird little stuff happening, and I was wondering if other people are noticing it, picking up on it, and I did want to share some of that stuff. Yeah, we have surprise shifts, big changes. There's a lot going on, and I do feel like there's solutions coming. There's wisdom that will be known from this. There will be solutions coming for us to be the leader. Like the dark is going away. Like the people who have been doing wrong are finding the ending of that. Now it's 119 on the clock. Like, we're coming to the ending of stuff. Things that were in the dark are coming to light. So we're going to see a lot of transformation, but we're also going to see a lot of distraction. We're also going to see a lot of illumination. So it's like, try to focus on the positive. Try not to get lost within the darkness. Try to listen to within yourself of where you feel you want to go and what you should do that feels right for you to do. And don't let anybody mess you up along the way, or let these distractions detour you on your path. But if you are interested in doing the live with me, let me know if you want me to do it here. Maybe I'll do it on both and see if I can handle doing both. I was going to do like 5-minute readings for people. And my Patreon is available for people. There's going to be another activation going in there to the 1111 tier, which is 1111 a month. So you'd get like that activation that I just did, plus all of the other ones that are in there. And there's one that I'm going to be doing to harness all of this chaos energy and put it into positive energy to help us to manifest. We've got like the second little moon coming. We have a lot of good things coming. But we also, the $5.55 tier, you get all the readings that are in there. There's a lot of them in there. I've been doing little extra ones here and there. Like I said, the Freaky Fridays, Twin Flame Tuesdays, Wisdom Wednesdays, Starseed Saturdays, the Mystic Monthly. And tomorrow at 9 p.m., I go live for my Patreon people. So my live will be before that. Again, I'm not sure where I'm going to do it yet, but it will be before that. And it's probably going to be a long one, I feel. So let me know if you want me to do it here. If not, join me on TikTok. I'll be doing it over there. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I just got to do it. Once I do something, it's not a big deal to me. Like I've done it here, but like I've been guided to do it over there. So I should just do it over there and not make a big deal about it. But anyways, I hope things have been making sense for you in your life. And I guess I just wanted to share some of this stuff with you. I know there's something else that I probably will clip something in here because there was a thing that I meant to say somewhere within here, but that ADHD brain is like, so in Renee, namaste.